Hey Crafty friends, welcome back to Heatherland Crafts. I'm so excited that you're here today. I have a really fun festive project to share with you. I'm going to be creating a 2-page Christmas themed scrapbook layout, and I'm going to be using this sketch here. This is the sketch that was designed by Cindy Pierce Jackson's Western Hearts All Team. This is their December sketch challenge. Got lots of photos in here. This sketch here is going to be great to work with for getting this trip to the tree farm here documented. It's going to be filled with lots of Christmas colors, cheerful embellishments, and plenty of layered details to help you capture all those magical seasonal memories. So whether you're documenting family traditions, this pictures here are from our trip to the tree farm. So this is going to be a great sketch to capture all these fun moments. I hope this project gives you lots of ideas for your own Christmas scrapbooking. So grab your papers, your favorite tools, and maybe a warm drink, and let's jump right into creating this festive 2-page layout together. All right, here we are. So as I mentioned, this is the Cindy Pierce Jackson's Western Hearts All Team December Sketch Challenge. And this sketch calls for, we've got, let's see, 1 4x6 portrait photo, 2 6x4s landscaped here. We've got 3 4x3s landscape photos here, 2 3x4 portraits, and then 4 of the 2x2s down here. So I've got all those pictures already printed and ready to go. I print my own photos. Right now I am using the Epson EcoTank 2850. It works really good, and I'm using a semi-gloss. I usually just, what I do is I use a 8.5 by 11 sheet of the photo paper. There's lots of ways to do this, and I know there's tons of tutorials out there. Jama and Erin Jacobson, those two have put some great tutorials out there on sizing photos and everything like that. For me, what works is putting them into a Word document, and then I size them and crop them down to the size I need to work with my sketch. So that's what I've done here, and got all my photos ready to go based on how I want them to fit on the sketch here. So if you look at the sketch, we're going to kind of lay these out here. So this is actually the left side and this is the right side. So this one, here's my 4x6. This one's going to go this way. And then I've got my 6x4, which is going to be this one here. And then I've got my 4 little 2x2s down here. And I decided to do for baby Freya, and she is my whole heart right now. My children are all grown and living out of the house, so she has become my new little fur baby. I take care of her like I was going to be taking care of one of my kids. She is my little fur human, is what I like to call her. She's 3 years old now, so she's not really a baby anymore, but I still treat her like one. So, and then we've got our 6x4 here. It's this one. I don't know if I'm in frame here. So we've got our 6x4 here, and then we've got 2 3x4s portrait that are kind of askew from each other there. You wouldn't have to necessarily do it that way, but I do certainly like the way that does lay out there. So I'm going to put Haley as my oldest daughter there, and then Freya is going to go sideways with her. And then how about that? Okay, you guys, my 2 daughters, even though they are adults, Haley is soon to be 28 and Alyssa is 21, and they still wrestle around like they were little girls. So that's such a fun thing to see every year. Talk about traditions. Every year, Haley loves to toss Alyssa into 1 or 2 of the trees. So this is that event taking place as it does every year. Haley tossing Alyssa into a tree and making sure she gets plenty dirty. So that one's going to go there. And then this is our family here. So this is my daughter Alyssa and her boyfriend Ethan, and my husband and my oldest daughter. And then there's me. I had to selfie it in because we didn't have anybody to take the picture there for us. So that one's going to go here. And then Alyssa here decided that she wanted to carry the tree to the truck by herself. So this is her taking that tree by herself. As her boyfriend watches, he's like, let me just do it. And she's like, no, I got it. She's my tough girl. So that's her taking that to the truck there. So these are my photos that I've selected for today. And we're going to get this here. So that's the easy part. Cindy's done all the work for us here, creating this beautiful sketch. So now the hard part is picking out which papers we want to go here. So it looks like we've got a fairly large kind of space here. Now it's shown white in the sketch, but that doesn't mean your paper has to be white. You can really use any paper you want there. I've got a couple of ideas here. I'm going to pull in some papers. I'm going to show you kind of what I'm thinking. So we've got lots of brown, green, and then we've got red with Freya sitting in the sleigh here. And then Freya's got her red raincoat on. It was raining this day, so I did pop her raincoat on her. So she's got that going on there. I've got some red in my boots here. So, and then we've got red in Santa's workshop. So we're going to pull all those colors in. You can see all the beautiful trees in the background here. So we're going to try and make sure that these photos pop top off whatever paper we decide to put down, and that it does justice to these photos. So photos are always going to be the star of the show. The papers just help those photos look beautiful. So that's what we're going to do today. Okay, so I've pulled some paper packs. We're going to go ahead and start pulling some papers in and see what we can do with this layout to make it look as beautiful as we can. So one of my favorite paper packs that I tend to work with a lot on almost every layout, it seems, I actually just ordered another pack of this because I am already starting to run low on some of these sheets. This is the Country Woods Designer Series paper, and this pretty much goes with everything. I mean, it's just such a diverse pack, and the colors in here and just everything. So I think I might start with some of this, maybe as my grounding piece. I'm not quite sure yet, so I'm going to pull some of that. And then I'm also thinking maybe something from this pack. This is the Elegant Pine Snowflakes. This does have a lot of pine tree snowflakes, although it wasn't snowing this day because it's got the pine trees and stuff in here. It's got the greens and certainly match here. So I'm thinking this pack might be a good one to pull from. I also pulled the Mix Up Patterns 12 by 12s. This is a new pack that is going to be released on January 6th. I know you guys can't get this one right now, but you'll want to get your hands on it when you can, because this pack has pretty much all the colors in it that are good for anything. So for this sketch, I like this green, these greens in here, maybe even this gray wood grain, and then this red chevron that could also work. It's kind of Christmassy. So this pack of papers is a possibility. Okay, so if you guys saw my last video, I talked about this pack and how there was a paper in here that kind of looked like it could be used for Christmas. And I told you in that last video, you were going to see me using this up for Christmas sooner rather than later. And guess what? I didn't lie to you, because I'm going to use this today. So again, that looks like a candy cane to me. We've got some red and white stripes going on here. And then we've got red here with some white. So I think this stripe is just going to be so fun with these pictures. It's going to just make it look super festive. So I am going to go ahead and use this. I'm not sure how I'm going to use it yet, but I am going to use that sheet today somehow. And then a couple of the other sheets I've pulled that I thought might be good from these packs. I pulled this one here. This is from the Traditions of Christmas pack, which is this one here. This is that subtle red polka dot with a little bit of, it's got the pink polka dots, very similar to this one here. So, oops, got papers going everywhere. Very similar to this one. This is more of a bright red, where this is more of, I think this is more cherry cobbler, and this is more like real red with the polka dots, bigger polka dots, smaller polka dot. I'm leaning towards this one here as my photo backdrop, because it is a much more subtle pattern, and it's going to allow my photos to really be seen and not be washed out by the paper. So I'm leaning towards this one, but we're going to kind of play with those and see which ones of those work. And then I've also pulled from the snowy snowflakes. I like this green to kind of bring in that green from the photos here. The wreaths and the trees, that one's a really pretty one. Goes really well with this green. So I've also pulled these two that I thought might be good. This green is more green, which works better with that tree there. It works with these trees also. So this one is a little bit more versatile green with the photos that I've got laid out here. So that's the back of this one, which I also thought something like this might be work too, because we've got black here. We've got some black jackets, my black leggings here. Freya is black. So we've got quite a bit of black that would work with this one, and the green and the red. So something like this could work. I'd have to figure out where I want to place that here though, so it doesn't take away from my photos, because the minute you put the photos on it, actually that one doesn't look too bad. Let's see. Honestly, they actually don't look too bad. This one's not so busy that it's taking away from the photos. I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know. I don't know if that looks too busy or not. Is it hiding my pictures? Maybe this one a little bit. It's not popping as much as I think it would if on like a red. And these are all really, really greens. Okay, so let's go ahead and start playing with these papers and this design. So I've pulled the papers out from each of these packs, and I've got them all right here. This layout is going to call for, looks like we've got a strip going here, and these are 2x2 photos. So I'm going to say, although this one doesn't have measurements on it, I'm going to kind of just eyeball that I want that to be the same on the top and the bottom here. So let's see, what do we want to do? I think for this bottom piece here, Freya gets lost, and we don't want to lose Freya. She's so cute. I think she tends to get lost on this busy pattern here, especially these smaller 2x2 photos. So if these were down here, let's see, these are going to go down here. I don't know. I feel like she gets a little lost in this busy pattern, and that's all these 2x2s are on this one bottom pattern. So I'm thinking this one is a no for this base piece right here. These two look really good on it because these are larger photos, but I feel like Freya gets lost in that one. So let's take that one away. Let's try the back side of that one. What if we put green down here? What does that look like? Oh, absolutely not. Freya, certainly all these trees get lost in that green. You can't even hardly see these down here now. So I actually liked the other one better. So this is an automatic no for me on that one. Okay, what else did we bring out? We've got this pretty peacock. I think we're gonna have the same problem with this one. Yeah, same problem with that one. Freya's, all the background of those little tiny photos are going to get lost in that. Let's see, what else did we pull? So we got the candy cane. I'm thinking for this candy cane stripe here, I'm going to do that as the strip right here. I just want a small piece of this showing. So I'm thinking this piece, I'm going to cut a strip of it and just do this dark strip right down the middle here as this one here. So we still need a piece for the bottom. Let's see, I'm thinking we could do this red. So let's see what this looks like. If we put red here, now I like these photos on red. This is the larger circle. That's the more real red with the pink spots on that. Let's see what this looks like. Oh, I try to put Freya so that most of these photos and she's looking this way. So I tried to put this one where she's kind of looking this way. This one, she's actually looking up at me. We were playing with her laser pointer. She's like a cat. She loves to chase her laser pointer. It's one of her favorite times of year. We take her to the tree farm. You can see Haley right here. She's actually holding her laser pointer. We run her around these trees and just let her wear herself out. So she's pretty tired here. She's been chasing her little green laser dot for quite a while now. So she's worn out and looking up at me, waiting for me to go, Mom, make the laser go. So that's what she's doing here. But let's go back to the photo. So this one, I don't know. I don't like this on this red either. This seems really, I don't know. I'm not loving it. So I like the red behind it. And again, down here, I'm not loving this either. I like it more up here than I do down here. So let's try something else. Here's what I'm thinking. Here's my plan. I think this wood grain is going to be a great base down here along the bottom, but I'm not sure what it's going to look like with Freya. So let's try it. Let's slip this under here. Freya is tricolor. So she does have some brown on her, on her face and on her legs here. So, and she's laying on that brown dirt. So this could actually work. And you know what? I like that. I like her on that brown. The green pops, the red pops, you know, her face is really shining through on that. I like this as this base layer down here, but let's see. I only have one sheet of this brown left, so I can't put the other one over here. We're going to have to like slide this under here and see if we can get that. So if I did this as the base layer down here on the bottom, the only parts that's going to come through here are these 3x3 photos right here. And then this one is going to be the only other one that touches this piece right here. I think these work. I like this brown. So I like this wood grain as my base layer here. So I'm okay with that. Let's just settle on that. So then let's see. That's layer number one. We're going to put that here. Layer number two, as I said before, I want to do this candy cane stripe. So this is going to come to about right there. And then this right here is going to be my stripe. I want this pointing that way. Okay. And then just a small strip of that. This is going to be this stripe here. So then we need something to go on top of that. What could we put there? Now, this is where it gets a little tricky. So we've got our two layers here. I kind of had a plan for that. But then we need this other little strip here, which maybe not quite sure. We're going to just wing it here. So if we put that, we've got the small strip of that candy cane coming through there. And then do we like the green? I don't know about the two patterns touching each other like that. I might have to like add like a piece of gold to transition that in. I think gold would be really pretty because it would bring in the warm tones of the wood here. So we might be able to get away with pulling in some gold. Freya's got her little gold dog taggy here that's got her name and her address and everything on it in case she does run away. She is microchipped and she does also have an air tag on her. I can't lose her. So I'm not sure about this green. And we're going to just leave that there for just a second and see. This would have about 1.5 inches maybe. And that's what I'm thinking. So then we have to decide, do we want this background right here to stay white, which, you know what? Hang on. Let me go pull a piece of white paper. Do we want to pull in just a white and leave that as the background here? Because we could do that. Let's say if we put about 1.5 inches of this here, we could do that. And then we would need one more piece along the top here. I'd probably pull in either the candy cane again, or we could bring in, it's the back side of this one. We could do a stripe of that up here along the top. I don't know how I feel about the photos though being on the white. I have a fear that these just won't pop like that on the white. Yeah, I feel like it's just not doing these photos any justice. Even if I matted these in red, I just feel like it's not doing anything for those photos. So what if we brought this guy in and made this my base layer? Let's see. I like that. What do you think? Is that too much red? I don't know. I think that's pretty. I could actually put the gold somewhere in here too, do a strip of gold here. Let's just play. I got a little strip here that's left over from a different project. So let's just bring that in and see. Yeah. I like that. That's pretty. Would you do that, or would you just leave it like that? So I don't know. I kind of like that, Maybe bring that up just a little bit. Yeah, I think I like that. What do you guys think? That looks festive to me. The polka dot here is really small, so it's more of almost a solid, because those polka dots are so small, and the contrast between the two colors here are very minimal. It does work as almost like a solid. So I think I really like this as my background. Let's see. You know what? We always have to test the other side though. So let's see what the other side would look like if we did. So this is my left side page here, these photos. So let's see what this page looks like if we were to put these ones. So if we got these here, would go here, right? Oh, these actually come all the way down to the wood. So we need to bring this down to here and go there. Let's leave that there. And then we've got the 6x4 going here. That actually looks really good on that too. And then these 4x3 photos here. So let's see. Which one did we want on top? Let's put this one down here, put this one here, and put this one here. You know what, you guys? I think that's what I want. That's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to go with. Okay, so let me get these photos chopped down, and then I'll be right back. Okay, now that we have all of our pieces stuck down, let's go ahead and bring our pictures back in and put them back in according to the sketch here, and just make sure that we got this all laid out like we wanted it to. So left side, right side here. Let's go put Freya down here like we originally had her. And then on this side, I believe, if I remember right, this one goes here and this one goes here. I think this one comes down so that way. And then over here, we've got the 4x3s that line up here, here, and here. Okay, and then we've got our 6x4 that goes here, and then our two 3x4s that go there and there. Okay, so I'm liking the way this is coming together so far. Now, the next piece that I tend to struggle with, just to let you guys know you're not alone, is coming up with a good title. Now, there's lots of different ways you can do titles. So many options, honestly, and I think that's what tends to get me, is because there are so many options. So what I like to do is first pick what I want the title to say. For this one, I want it to say Tree Farm, because we were at the tree farm. So then what I start doing is, once I know what I want it to say, I look at what my options are. So I look at my stamps. Do I have any stamps that would fit that? Do I have any Cricut ideas that I could maybe create something for. So the title's supposed to go here, and I can kind of see how much space I have to work with. And so I've done that. I've kind of looked at my stash and gone through my stamps. I didn't really have anything in my stash that I felt like fit the theme of this layout well enough and that would fit this space good enough. So in that case, what I did is I looked at Cricut, didn't really see anything super inspiring there. Of course, you can create whatever you want in Cricut. So what I was thinking was I was going to bring in the words Tree Farm using Party alphabet dies. These are pretty large letters. So I've gone ahead and cut them out. Next thing I needed to decide was, do I want to do that shadow in black, green, or both? So let's just put this out there. Let's see what it looks like. So this is what it would look like with just the white. And you know what? That looks good, but I feel like it needs a shadow. Let's give this a try. Let's try it with the green drop shadow. I'm going to go down into the left on each of these to give it a drop shadow, something like that. And we would have to just get that to stay there. There we go. So you can kind of see the effect that that's going to do. And I do this a lot when I got to make sure that that shadows go in the same direction on all those letters. So down and to the left is what I've decided. Down and to the left on all of these, and then take a look at that and see if we like that. I'm just testing this out here. Nothing is decided yet. Nothing is glued down. So until we bring out that glue bottle, we can make up our minds and we can change it as much as we want. So that's what the green would look like. And then do we want to do green on this one too and have the green on the red? Or do we want to bring in black? So let's see what this drop shadow looks like with black. And I'm going to still just do that down and to the left for the black also. So this is what it would look like with that drop shadow in the black. And I don't know. Okay, so here's where I pose this to you. In the comments below, let me know what you would do. Would you do both? Would you do all green? Would you do all black? Or would you do no shadow? It's a simple decision. It should be a simple decision, but I like them both, honestly. And so I don't know if it looks terrible having the two different colors as the drop shadow. There's black all throughout this. So that's why I decided to try the black as the drop shadow. And I really like that. I feel like it makes that word pop really, really well. But I also felt like I needed to bring in some more green. So I don't know which direction I'm going to go. Let me know. What would you do? I think in this case, now that I've kind of looked at it and played with it a little bit, I think I'm going to go ahead and just do both. I can't decide. So I'm going to do tree in green and farm in black. Okay, we've got our letters all pasted together here in the green and the black, which I am happy with that decision. And then the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and stamp some trees because this is a tree farm. We do have to get some trees in here, right? So I'm going to go ahead and use this retired Stampin' Up! Forever Forest set. I really like this one. Let's go ahead and give these guys a good Stampin'. I think I like this one and this one. So I'm not sure which one I'm going to use, but I'm going to go ahead and just do both. And I'm going to stamp these in green on some white cardstock. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and grab a piece of white cardstock, and then we'll stick this guy in here. Make sure this is lined up into the corners there. Stick that down here, put my magnet on it. And then I don't know, maybe these will both fit on here. I don't think so. Or maybe it will. Maybe I just got to move my magnet. Yes, they do fit. Okay, we'll just put the magnet over on the side. These both fit there. All right, we'll close our door to pick those up. These haven't been used before, so I'm going to season them really quick with my hands. Just give them a nice once over here. Okay, so I've gone ahead and inked these up. One with Mossy Meadow and the other one with Old Olive, because I wasn't sure which one I wanted to go with. So I've stamped this one in the Mossy Meadow and this one in the Old Olive, and we'll see what those look like. Those come out. Okay. I'm not sure. I wasn't sure which one was going to work better with my colors on my layout. So I just went ahead and did both, and we'll just go ahead and cut them both out and then see which one ends up on the layout, and maybe none of them do. I don't know. I am just creating some options for myself here at this point. I haven't figured out the clusters. I don't know what they're going to look like. I am just making up a bunch of things that I think might work with my design. Cindy did the great job of having the layout all done for us, the sketch. For me, the hardest part is deciding what's going to go in my clusters. That is where I still spend a fair amount of time. Bring this guy back out here. Okay, and then we're going to cut these guys out. So I'm going to give this one 2 pieces of tape because it is such a big image. Don't want that shifting on me. So then we'll use this one. This is the Old Olive pieces. I'll cut this guy out with this one. Okay, so that's as good as I think I'm going to get it. And we'll just cross our fingers and hope we did well. Okay, here we go. It's like waiting for magic to happen. Comes out the other side. And then let's see how we did. Oh, that one already popped itself out. Okay, it's not terrible. It isn't perfect. but it isn't terrible. We definitely probably could have shifted it a little bit this way, but it's workable. It's not the worst job I've ever done. Oh, this one actually came out good. Okay, so we got 2 sets of trees now that we can work with. So we'll just put these in with our clusters. The next thing I'm going to do is I've got these pieces of sprigs and stuff cut out and ready to go, but I do want to add some dimension to those. So I'm going to bring my glass mat back out. I want to add some dimension to these because right now they're cut out with old olive and they just look a little flat. They look very one-dimensional. So we're going to add some dimension to these by inking them up. And then I'm going to probably work with Mossy Meadow. I think I'm going to add some Mossy Meadow to these. So let's open this up. And what I like to do this with is I have these brushes here that I use. Honestly, I think I got these off of Amazon. If I can find the link for them, I'll link them below. But these are just they're like little stipple paint brushes. And I've kind of been using the same ones for the same types of colors. So this is the green I've been working with. We'll just set that aside over there. And then what I do is I take the little brush and I just kind of stipple it here so that I don't end up with a big glob all at once. I just kind of stamp it off over here and then just kind of dab those until I get enough color. And honestly, I just kind of work my way up. I like to leave a little bit of the ends, the original color, so that it looks more than just one color. So you don't want to color the whole thing. And I like to kind of make the part down here just a little bit, the stem a little bit darker towards the bottom here, and then just work my way back up here. Really not a whole lot of science to this. I'm just winging it. So I'm going to show you one and then I'll do the others off camera, and that way you don't have to watch all of this. I just wanted to show you a couple of these and how I do this, which tools I use. This is the best way for me, I have found, especially when you're working with like these tiny little pieces like this, because the larger brushes, let's say something like this, I mean, you would end up just covering the whole thing. So that doesn't work. And then I've got these brushes over here too, something like this. But again, you'd have the same issue. It's so big. And so working with these smaller things, I do like to use something like this. Look at the difference now between these. So you can see the difference in with the inking and then without the inking. So I'm going to go ahead and ink the rest of these. I was going to show you the holly here. I'll show you this one here too. So with the holly, I usually start down here at the bottom and just the same process, but just again, leaving a little bit of that original green paper kind of showing through so that you're not covering the whole thing. So show you a comparison in this one here too. So you've got inked and not inked. I'm going to finish inking these up and then I'll see you in just a minute. So these are some of the options that I've pulled. Of course, if I can't find what I like in here, we can always go back to the drawing board and either make some more, or we can dig through our stash and see what else we have. But we're going to go ahead and just start with this and start playing with it and see what we can come out with. And of course, let's take a look at the sketch and see where we're supposed to have our clusters. So we're supposed to have one up here in the corner. There's a fair amount of space here. We can make one work. And then she shows one over here at the end of the title, but because my title took up so much space here, I think I'm going to omit this one here. We're supposed to have one here, but I think I'm also going to omit that one only because I like the papers that are here and I don't want to cover up this here. So I'm going to probably leave that one off here. I might put something small there. So I'm going to definitely do this one, maybe that one, definitely not that one. And then she shows one here, which could work, and then one here. So she's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 clusters. And I do like to keep the clusters in odd numbers. So I'm thinking I'm going to do one here, and I like to make sure it like kind of works its way across the page. So I'm going to do the one here. I think I'm going to definitely do this one here. And then we need one maybe up here. I don't think I have much space. We could bring these down. Let's see what happens if we bring these down. We could fit one up here in the corner. We could fit one maybe up here because I want it to come kind of down and then make its way back up here. So we do need to put something small up here in the corner. And because this photo is kind of empty over here in the corner, we can add it to on top of the actual photo. I think what I want to do first is start with these trees because this is a tree farm. I do definitely want to include these trees that we stamped out. So let's see. Don't have a ton of space. This one's really tall. I don't think that one's going to fit here, but I think maybe this one could fit here. Oh, I like that. Okay, so that's that one. And then we just need another cluster over here. Bring these down, make sure we've got room there. I did cut out some of these snowflakes. These are from the Delicate Pines series. And I just cut these out of the paper, the designer series paper. I cut these out from that. So we could use these over here somewhere. I mean, I'm really not sure how. I kind of like, maybe we can put that behind that like that. I don't know yet. I'm still kind of just playing here and seeing what we come up with. So this was the edge of the paper, but it's still completely usable. So I didn't want to waste that. This actually might look cute right here. And this is the fun part though. Even though this does take me a little bit of time to figure out, this is one of the fun parts for me, is playing with all of the little pieces and trying to make something pretty come out of it. So this is one of the more time consuming parts, but I absolutely love doing it. Maybe we don't even need these. We don't really need any poinsettias. Okay, here's a debate that we have in our house. I say poinsettia. My husband says poinsettia, and I've heard it said both ways. This is one of those potato situations. Tell me down below, do you say poinsettia, option A, or do you say poinsettia, option B? Let me know down below. Now, okay, we have this guy here, which again, I think it just doesn't fit. It's too big. So we're going to leave him off as an option. I cut out all these little candies, and I think these are really cute to go into these clusters. I like that. I like the red and the green together. We've got these little candies we could kind of place around. It is Santa's workshop. He's guaranteed to have candy in his workshop, right? Since we put a poinsettia here, kind of want to have one over in this corner also. So let's stick one of those there. Move these guys out this way a little more. I do like those on top of that photo, but we don't want to cover up Haley's head either. So I'm going to play with this for a little bit and I will be right back. I'm fairly satisfied with this. I think, after I decide to glue things down, things might change up just a little bit, but I think this is what we're going to do, you guys. I just need to glue this down. So let me pause and glue this down and I will be right back. Okay. Everything is glued down. We have a couple steps left. First thing I want to do is I bring in my jelly roller. This is the 1.0 jelly roller in white. And I'm going to just kind of add some dimension to these bows, make them look a little bit more dimensional. I do want them to really pop a little bit and make them not look so flat. Well, we got this bow over here, so let's do the same thing over here. I think that is a nice little touch there. We're going to go ahead and leave it at that. One other thing I did change while I was gluing things down is I realized I did not leave any space for any journaling, which, the sketch doesn't really have a spot. You could have swapped out any of these photos for some journaling, but in this case, what I've decided to do is take this spot right here, this 3x4 photo right here, and I'm going to turn this into my journaling by using a flip flap, which I went to go grab my flip flaps, my 3x4 flip flaps, and I could have sworn I had more, but I made it up in my head that I had a last package. So either way, I immediately went and placed an order, and I have some more flip flaps on the way, and we will use those when they come in. In the meantime, I can kind of show you what I mean. So I glued down this photo, which is another photo I had out that I thought I might want to use. So I'm going to put this picture of Freya on the sled over the top in the flip flap. And when I flip that up, my journaling is going to go on the back side of this right here. So that's where I'm going to put my journaling, because I do have a lot to say about this day. It was a fun day and we did a lot. So I did want to put that journaling on the back side of all of this. So I'll get that typed up and get that put in when my flip flap arrives. The last thing we need to do before we can call this page complete is we need to add some bling. So I've got a couple of choices here. I've got these little gold, I think I ordered these off Amazon years ago. We also have these here as an option. These are on the last chance list right now. So if you don't have them and you want them, I suggest getting these now. These are great for scrapbooks because they're flat. They don't have any dimension to them all. They're almost like glittery cardstock cut into a circle that's got some adhesive on the back. Got a lot of sparkle to it. So these come in great if you want to add a little bit of bling to your clusters. My other option that I can grab with some little peppermint things we could add there. The other thing I have, which I've been using a lot of, which is basically just a confetti that I ordered off Amazon as well. So I love these gold stars because they have so much sparkle to them. So we could place some of these gold stars around. And I think since I have used up all of my gold spots here, the small ones I love, I'm probably should have included another one of these in my order because these are on the last chance right now. But I think I might go with these gold stars. Let's just try a couple of those and see if we like those. So the way I do this is I grab my Stampin' Up! Pick tool here. And typically what I do is I'll just grab like my little tray here like this. So I just sprinkle some of them on here like that. And I kind of figure out where I'm going to want them and it picks it up really nicely. So I just kind of play with it first and see where I might want those. I like to make sure that I use an odd number. So this cluster is pretty busy already, so it doesn't need a ton. I think 3 looks really good there. Usually for me, it's I'm feeling in that moment. Like as soon as I place it down and I'm like, yes, that's it. Or it's, I don't really know, then I'll keep moving it until I get that feeling. And so I'm just not getting that on that at all. So let's just take that off. Yeah, I like that one over here better than for some reason. I think it's just because that red bow is on top and it's too busy. So I like that one there. I kind of move it around with this. So I think that's going to do it. So let's go ahead and these glued down. The way I'm going to do that is I'm just going to kind of leave them where they are and pick them up and put a little dot of glue down. So I just kind of pick it up and I know that's where it came from. So I'm just going to put the tiniest dot of glue because if you put too much, it's going to flow out. So you just have to be careful not to squeeze your glue too hard. Just the tiniest bit. There we go. Okay, so we'll stick that down there. And I don't want to push too hard because I don't want that glue to seep out too much. These do have a lot of shimmer. I don't know if you guys follow me on Facebook or not, but I did a card with the Northern Lights, these gold stars all over the Northern Lights paper. And it was sensational. The sparkle from these on the dark paper was just amazing. So you can see I'm just putting just the tiniest bit of glue, tiny little dot, and just placing that down. I think I'm going to put this one directly onto the photo here, kind of like that. Bring this one down. And as you can see, I did do odd numbers of confetti on each of these. So did I get those ones? Yeah, I got those ones already. That one there. That one's not very straight. Okay, you guys, I'm done. I'm going to type up my journaling and put that in my flip flap when that comes in. But other than that, this page is done. This is the sketch that we started out with, and this is what we ended up with. So that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you for stopping by and scrapbooking with me today. So until next time, stay crafting, stay happy, and we'll talk soon. Bye-bye.